Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Keturah King. Of late, a new breed of entrepreneurs have come to the fore in large industrial organizations. They're called entrepreneurs, and they emerge from within the confines of an existing enterprise. In big organizations, the top executives are encouraged to catch hold of new ideas and then convert these into products through research and development activities within the framework of the organization. The concept of entrepreneurship is becoming very popular worldwide. But it has been found that an increasing number of entrepreneurs are now leaving their jobs within these big organizations and are starting their own enterprises. And while many of them become exceedingly successful in their ventures, a lot of them are not so lucky. So today on Our Take, we'll be taking a look at the perils, the pitfalls, and the positive aspects of being your own boss. I'm joined by the boss ladies themselves, Isio, Wanogho, and Bidemin, Zakariyan, who'll give us their take on entrepreneurship. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me again.
Thank you.
Right, let's start with what you both believe an entrepreneur is, which should be easy for you to answer since you're both entrepreneurs. But Amy, let's start with you.
I think simply an entrepreneur just runs their business and has the vision for the business, finances the business, and that person is like the go-to person for the business. Yeah.
And you, Isio?
I mean, I agree with what she said, but I also really do feel like entrepreneurship has a lot to do with problem solving. And for me, that's the number one driving force of that company, not just to create wealth or to, to manage operations, but to solve existing problems. And that's why you would open a business in the first place.
Absolutely. And as an entrepreneur, you have to be able to deal with high-risk environments, right? Because you have to make all of these decisions. You've got to be able to pay people, and if there's no money at the end of the month, nobody's getting paid, and that's on your head, So I want to know, is everybody capable of being an entrepreneur?
I don't think so. I think some people are cut out to actually work at organizations. I think generally we've started entrepreneurship has been glamorized, and people tend to see what is on the end result, and they don't know how much work it actually takes to actually be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot of risk, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of consistency, focus, laser focus. You have to work really, really hard, and not everybody's cut out for that. Some people are just cut out for working within the organization. So I think...
Right. So we're talking now about entrepreneurship. So you say that some people, well, effectively, you're just capable of being an employee. Why is it that we're seeing so many, an increase in levels or numbers of people who think that they can be an entrepreneur and then fail miserably? Why do we have that?
I think because lots of people equate having a great idea to being able to see it through. Just because you have a great idea, and this is also a problem we tend to have here in Nigeria, we like to hold on to, we hold on to things. Just because it's my idea and I think it could work, doesn't mean I have what it takes to see through and turn it from an idea into something that's revenue profit-driven organization. Doesn't mean that you can. And different people have different gifts and talents. Some people will be and so much more money than probably I earned from both my companies. They probably are making that in a month, working for a company than I probably would make in a year.
Working for yourself.
And some people don't get that. Some people don't. I really believe in aligning yourself where you're not against your natural talents. People do that, and it really can't work if you don't, like you said, if you don't have that laser focus, you don't have that discipline, you can't see it through. Just because you have the great idea or you have the money, that's even worse. You feel like, I have the money, what can I do now? Oh, okay, fashion designer. Oh, okay, it's a bad It's a bad idea. You can have the money, but what you should do is to align yourself with someone who has the grit to see that thing through. But in Nigeria, we don't want to do that. It's like, I have the money, I have the name, I'll do it. Why can't I do it? Why am I paying somebody? I'll do it.
Yeah, and another thing with entrepreneurs is people don't actually know that they can actually grow an organization that they work at. And that's really important. I think that people, companies are now becoming more accepting, but there are also some companies that limit you. Right. So you can't actually blame the employees. There are organizations where there's a lot of politics, you can never speak to the boss. So you may feel that your ideas are just going down and there's nothing you can do about it. So you may then feel that, okay, let me go out and do this on my own. So companies need to be open to hearing those ideas and to scaling those ideas, because the point of entrepreneurship is that these are people that can grow the organization, the thinkers, the innovators, and that's really important.
So what advice would we give to a person who perhaps is working in an organization who feels like they're not being heard, who also feels like it's time to branch out and start their own thing, which may not necessarily be aligned with their natural talents? What advice would we give to that person, this hypothetical person?
It's okay to try. It's okay to fail, but don't stay a failure. If you want to be an entrepreneur, understand that failure is part of the process. It's not all glamorous. You won't have the best clients all the time. You won't have the jobs all the time. You won't have the money all the time. It's hard. It's painful and it's lonely, and you have to struggle with your work-life balance, especially in the beginning. But just because you fail and you don't get things, don't give up. If you're sure, you have to be sure and you have to be in it long term. Yeah. So when you try, if you fail, learn from it and just keep going.
And I think that's such an important point to pick up on, is the fact that failure is a huge part of success.
Yes.
Because like you said, you've been in the industry for 17 years, but a person walks into your office and wants the same level of respect that you're garnering without realizing that you've put in 17 years of back effort that nobody has seen, you know? So what do we say to the person that just wants to become an entrepreneur and thinks that it's going to happen like that?
There's no such thing. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
You really are being quite...
I love it though.
It's just unrealistic to expect that. And I really think that entrepreneurs should be honest enough. Really, there's this, it's been glamorized, you can be your own boss. But entrepreneurs who are feeling the pinch should be honest enough.
Need to share their struggle.
Need to share their struggle. Enough of us don't share struggle. Yes. I mean, I went to business school and, we have modules and case studies of this person was selling this in front of that gate. And in 3 years, it was like, wow, 3 years.
Became a millionaire after being a bread seller.
It doesn't always...
You hear about the grass to grace stories, but never really about the other way around.
Yeah. And the information that the audience are getting is not balanced out, so they're not even prepared for it. It's really hard being an entrepreneur.
And also for people that work in organizations as well, it's also very important to know that no one's going to give you anything. You're not deserving of anything. I think that any company that can see that you're adding real value would take that value and scale it. So you may not be showing enough value. You may not, you just want things handed to you, but you have to work for it. So that's also very important. Yeah.
So we spoke about people perhaps not being very honest with their struggles in entrepreneurship. So let's start here. Share with us some of your struggles. Give us one story of
where do I even
struggle to success.
Where do I even start? Let's see. Okay, the most recent one was one of the partners that we'd use for a business had defrauded the company.
Defrauded your company?
Yes. And we paid for a service and he just took the money and just didn't deliver. And it was really hard because this project would have been, multiples, and then this just happened. What would I do? Lots of my liquid cash had gone in. I had to compensate the clients because, again, this is a client that has paid me for a service. I have to make it right. And even though I'd lost money, I had to do everything.
Yeah, so you lost double money effectively.
Yeah, I had to do everything again. And then I had to give them a compensation. I mean, these things happen. What would I do? If I didn't have that, I have to make this right.
Yeah. And as the boss, you have to incur the brunt of it.
Exactly. And then staff make mistakes, especially in my business where one wrong decision has financial implications.
Of course.
It's in design, carpentry, you can't, one wrong decision has such ridiculous consequences, financial consequences. One information relayed 1 second too late. You want to make a bet, and then maybe the client changes their mind. Oh, I don't want it brown. I like off-white. And then I call the factory, and they've already bought the brown.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's money
You
gone.
know, money is gone. And it happens like that. You tell them to make a bed, they make mistakes. And then I had a client where she wanted the bedroom done, and I paid the guy. But he kept making mistakes, and then I had to pay for that bed 3 times.
Oh, my goodness.
3 times. And you know, carpenters are like, it's fine now, just look at it.
Just bend your head to the side, it will all make sense.
Like,
We're running out of time, so let's quickly hear from Bidemin about one of your stories of struggle as an entrepreneur.
My biggest struggle was definitely last year. With the pound and the dollar going down.
Of course.
We have a lot of international clients. So it was first, oh, we're no longer doing this campaign, or we're reducing the budget, or we're cutting the budget completely. And it was just a time when we just thought, what are we going to do? Nobody has money. What are we going to do? So I quickly had to set up an SME division. Because we realized that we were still getting calls from the small businesses who still wanted
in the country.
Yeah, who in the country.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we set up a small business division, and that just kept us going.
Wow.
That last year was my worst year in business, for sure. I'd never experienced anything like that. But yeah, we had to think very quickly. It was actually one of my interns that brought up the idea, like, why don't we just set up an SME division? I'm like, okay, and you're going to lead that division.
Amazing. And look at that, from intern to employee. I'm sure because you would give that kind of person a job. You were forward-thinking, you're intuitive, as opposed to just being restorative. You know, it sounds like I'm hearing both of you boss ladies say that you have to be quick on your feet as an entrepreneur. You've got to be able to think before a problem even arises.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, final words on being an entrepreneur. Is it for everyone?
No.
No.
So what do I do, hypothetically speaking, if it has been my dream to be my own boss and I've tried 3 times and I've failed each time?
Why are you failing? You need to understand why you failed and just try to do it better.
Words to live by.
You need to learn from the failure as well. I think failing, like you said earlier, is a key part of success. If you don't fail, I'm not sure you're doing anything right. You will fail so many times, but how do you learn? You have to keep going. When you hear no, you have to persevere. You have to be consistent and just keep that focus, and something will definitely happen. Yeah.
Amazing. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today on The Morning Show.
It's
been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I've learned so much about starting my own business.
Thank you.
Well, that brings us to the end of The Morning Show today. Thanks once again to my wonderful guests, Bidemin Zakariyan and Isio Wanogho, for joining me, Keturah King. And of course, thanks to you at home for watching. From my entire team and I here in Lagos, all that's left for me to say is enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.